So, the Kawasaki Ninja ZX-4R has been revealed by Kawasaki, and the biggest complaint I've heard in relation to this bike, apart from of course the price, is just how heavy it is. So I thought I'd do some comparing and see if that is a fair criticism and what the mitigating factors may be. I think this idea partially stems from the very competitive figures we've seen quoted for much older, small capacity 4-cylinders, but there's some factors to consider there, and I think a lot of those comparisons probably aren't that fair. But hear me out and see if you agree. The curb weight we've been quoted for the ABS version is 188 kilos or 415 pounds, which isn't exactly light, even if it is fueled with the vast majority of that 15 litre capacity. The ZX-25R is in comparison only 182 kilos. I do like seeing Kawasaki being very specific with this figure though. It includes all necessary materials and fluids to operate correctly and a full tank of fuel of more than 90%, and any toolkit if included with the bike. The reason I bring this up is because we often see dry weight figures quoted, and obviously there's an opportunity to get creative here. We've all heard stories of people actually weighing their bikes and being unpleasantly surprised compared to what was quoted after all. Like, while looking up the weight figures, I stumbled across some first gen CBR 600R figures where the official dry weight versus measured dry weights in testing differed by almost 20 kilos, and then there was the actual weight of the fluids as well. So modern comparison points are the ZX-6R at 192 kilos or 430 pounds, or the Ninja 400 at 166 kilos or 366 pounds, both of which are wet curb figures, so directly comparable. A 1991 VFR 400R by comparison has a quoted dry figure of 165 kilos or 364 pounds, and it's important to note that is a dry figure. With the bike capable of carrying 18 litres of fuel, wet a 400 pound figure is quoted or 181.5 kilos. A 1988 Honda CBR 250R in comparison quotes 153 kilos or 337 pounds, again dry, with a 14 litre fuel capacity. Depending where you look, similar comparable figures include 157 kilos without fuel or 158 kilos dry from 1990. The reason I bring up a few comparison points is to try and nail down a stable comparison that is apple to apples. Comparing dry weight to curb without fuel to curb with nearly full fuel offers a pretty significant range of figures, normally bridging up to 20 kilos. A lot of the claims that the ZX-4R is too heavy seem to rely on talking dry figures compared to the 4R's wet, fully fueled figure. So, a 2023 Kawasaki ZX-4R 188 kilos, the ZX-6R at 192, the Ninja 400 at 168, but a parallel twin. The VFR 400 is 181 kilos, and that's probably the best and fairest comparison point, which isn't really far off what we see today. The CBR 250R at an assumed 167.5 kilos with 14 litres of fuel meanwhile is still pretty decently lighter than our modern machine though, sitting about 20 kilos lighter. Having owned an FZX 250 back in the day, a naked 254, with a quoted dry weight of 145 kilos, I'll admit to being pretty dubious how realistic that figure is. Like, did they have the tyres fitted when they did that measurement? Curb was claimed at 164 kilos, and I'd believe that if it excludes the 15 litres of fuel. That may just come down to the bike feeling exceptionally heavy as to how it carried that weight, but still. Naturally, the modern machines will have benefited from some advancements like lighter wheel designs, although I'm not sure if tyres would be heavier or lighter. Car tyres apparently got much heavier, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if the new tech in our bike tyres have done the same. Whether the modern steel trellis frames offer an advantage over the aluminium alloy offerings would be interesting to compare too. Like, why not use the ZX-6R chassis for the ZX-4R and just chuck the new engine in? Obvious answer being it's based on the ZX-25R, not the ZX-6R, but you get my drift, right? What we do know is the ABS systems add 2 to 3 kilos on their own. Likewise, modern exhausts need to meet Euro 4 or Euro 5, and the additional weight there, even just in the collector itself, can be pretty significant. There's probably some give and take there though with lighter modern mufflers. It wouldn't be hard to imagine there's a decent 10 kilos in extra kit on a modern bike as a result, which would also explain why we haven't seen much in the way of progress in the last 20 to 30 years, where gains, or I should say weight loss elsewhere, would be offset by that. It's also not hard to imagine that a performance 254 cylinder back in the day was probably actually getting a bit more focus in the development phase on lightening than the modern versions. So is the Ninja ZX-4R actually heavy? Yes and no. Compared to the VFR 400, I'd argue there's no real difference at all, just taking into account the Euro 5 collector, CATs and ABS, and that may just be me being generous. There's a pretty significant difference though to the CBR 250R, which I would have loved to find an independent figure for. Even if we give the ZX-4R say 10 kilo in modern restrictions and allowances, ABS Euro 5, maybe more electricity components and another 6 kilos to upgrade from the 400, based on a comparison to the ZX-25R, we're still talking a good 4 kilo difference, or 14 if you're not willing to offset those factors I mentioned. But even if that figure is 20 kilos, which I think is a fair comparison point, the 88 CBR 250R was running 40 horsepower or 44 horsepower on the Japanese spec RR, which was apparently 10 kilos lighter too. Not sure how true this is, but I once heard a horsepower is worth about 4 kilos, and vice versa. So if we apply that rule and lose 5 horsepower, well, the new Kawasaki ZX-4R is still absolutely trouncing those old bikes so hard on the performance and power to weight front that it's not even a competition. So the question probably isn't whether the ZX-4R is a bit on the lardy side, it's actually just how hard it's going to smoke those old machines in real world conditions, which in the right hands would surely be by a lot. Not my hands obviously, but someone fast against someone else fast. Anyway, this is all supposition as you can see, and the proof will be in the pudding when people get their hands on these bikes. My lasting memory of my 254 was many great beginner experiences and thinking it was real quick, till I upgraded to an FZ6N, at which point I realised it was really like a Harley, real good at turning fuel into noise, but the old performance wasn't nearly so impressive. But let me know what you think. Is there some hidden weight savings on all modern bikes I've forgotten about? Do you have some other figures around wet weights? And what do you think is a fair comparison? For now, I'd love to see someone grab a new ZX-4R, chuck a full exhaust on it, throw in a lithium battery and see what that sucker weighs. That'd be pretty interesting if you ask me. So thanks for watching, hit like if you're still here and not asleep, and I'll be back soon.